Good morning, good morning. It's a shame to stay up late. Good morning to you. And welcome to dinner party tonight, night. It's summertime, and we're gonna make a summertime meal to beat the band. We have a special guest today who's gonna show us an appetizer of crab cakes. Then we're going to have a beautiful baby arugula, because it's spicy and yummy, and a romaine lettuce salad with fig dressing. Then we're going to have some fish fillet, beautifully crusted in cornmeal, served on a bed of fennel. Very nice. We're gonna serve it with a super spicy sauce called sambal. Then for dessert, we're going to have strawberry cream shortbread, a recipe from the untouchable King Arthur baking. Flawless. Let's go for a summertime freak out. Out. If you love strawberries, I highly recommend trying this dessert. It's called strawberry cream shortbread, but it's really something called a bavarois, which is a gelatin set mousse. It's not vegetarian because it's gelatin. It's beautiful, and it's also facile. So let's make strawberry cream shortbread. The first thing we're gonna do is make the base, which is a fantastic shortbread recipe. 10 tablespoons of butter, some confectioner sugar, salt, and flour. Very simple. But it happens to make sort of perfect shortbread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boop. We're gonna put 1/3 cup of confectioner sugar. So one thing about confectioner sugar, which you may know if you're a dinner partier, and may I make a special shout out to Will and Renee Delaney, who came to see my play, World's Fair Inn. They were an absolute delight, and I hope you guys had a good time. But they know that confectioner sugar is a little weird. It actually has cornstarch in it, which is why you can't use it in whipped cream. But anyways, take 1/3 cup of confectioner sugar, notoriously a pain in the butt to not make a mess with it. I'm gonna dump all the ingredients in here, so I'm putting 1.25 cups of flour. Seems weird, right? Seems too easy. I'm gonna put a little bit. I ran out of vanilla paste, so I'm using this stuff from, come in, mister, come on. He can't see the door anymore, you know. This stuff from Tahiti called Noa, which is in fact really good vanilla paste. It's almost like jelly. So I'm gonna put some in, about that much, and some salt. Think about shortbread. How much salt do you want in it? Now, I'm just going to slowly mix this until it turns into dough. Don't panic. Don't panic, George. It's gonna turn into dough. I used the big springform last night for the Magic of Television one, and it was too much of a hassle to get this off the bottom of it. So I'm actually gonna make probably 3 small ones, which might be super cute in these little molds, because I can't get the bottom off the one I made yesterday. Oh, what's happening? Look at that, it's dough. Now, we're gonna make a strawberry one, but having made this now a few times, you could probably use any berries. Now, let's see. Maybe like this. Oh, I think we can get 3 small ones. Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm pushing this to the edges, okay? And I'm trying to make it an even thickness. Then I'm gonna put it aside. I'm gonna use a glass in a minute to kind of make it even. So do you remember on Great British Bake Off when they did the Charlotte Russe? You remember that? It was a rolled, oh my God, it's like the cruelest thing. It's a Swiss roll, which is hard in itself, like the bûche de Noël, cut in slices, filled with jam, lining a bowl, and then inside goes a bavarois, which is a gelatin mousse, right? Then it gets covered on the outside with some sort of awful glaze or something. A couple of them managed to get one, but not everybody got one out. Get a small glass, and you want to kind of go like this. That's pretty even. Now, finishing touch is take a small spoon and just kind of push down the edges so you have a neat edge. And these go into a 350 oven for approximately 10 minutes, and then it gets reduced to 300 until they are golden brown. We're going to pierce them with a fork. You like to make a nice pattern with the fork? So you go like this, dit, dit, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. So I'm now going to put this at 350. I had it at 360. So the 10 degrees I lost putting them in is caught, right? So it's at 350 for 10 minutes, but I'm going to keep an eye on this because they're smaller pieces. Then I'm going to reduce it to 300 for about another 10 to 12, 14 minutes, okay? Just until it's golden brown. It's very simple. So let's make the strawberry cream filling, which is essentially a bavarois, which is essentially a set mousse. You can make bavarois lots of different ways, but one of them is set with gelatin. So what we're going to do is take 2 packs of gelatin. So you cut the top off 2 packs, and you're going to sprinkle it in about 1/3 cup of water, about that much water. All right? It's a lot of gelatin. And I'm going to tell you something. It stinks. And you know what it smells like? Hooves. Because that's what it's made from. So I'm going to stir this until it turns into a sort of a jellied mass, kind of. I'm kind of mashing the bigger white blobs, but I'm not overly concerned because we're going to melt it also. So it turns into a kind of a jelly. Then I'm going to put this on a very low heat while I'm making the cream, or the beginnings of the cream. You'll see, it's very easy. Very low heat until it's clear, you'll see. Okay, so we're basically just gonna let that melt while we make the filling. Okay, so this is what you do. Wash your strawberries. Hold the leaves away so you don't lose a lot of strawberry. Cut strawberry. You don't even have to do this, but you can cut it in half. If you can't do this, I can't help you. Let's talk about the Thermomix, okay? It's $1,400. I'm debating whether to buy one. So I was looking at YouTube reviews of Thermomix, and I came across these incredible Australian comedy kitchen duo, I guess, called the Catering Show, because they're both called Kate. It is really, really funny. And I have to say, their review of the Thermomix is classic.
It's the kind of appliance that your rich mother-in-law gives you as a wedding gift because she doesn't think you can cook.
Anyways, the Catering Show, they're awesome. So this is a thing of strawberries. And it's about 3/4 cup of sugar to a cup. They say, I wouldn't put more than 3/4 cup. And if your strawberries are super ripe, I would almost put less. I need 2 tablespoons of lemon. Kind of around half a lemon, but we'll use this for something else today. 2 tablespoons. Or just some, you know. And blitz until it's a puree. Oh! Before I put the gelatin in, I'm just gonna quickly see if it's too sweet or too sour. Perfection. I'm now pouring in the gelatin, which is slightly cooled. You want all the gelatin, because there's no side on the pie. Whip it good. It's already thickening. This is gonna go in the refrigerator for about 45 minutes. During the 45 minutes, you're gonna stir it a couple times so it thickens evenly. And you wanna leave it in there until it makes a mound on a spoon. Conveniently, it's also when your base is cooling. Woo! Puree, fridge, match made in heaven. Awesome. Oh, nice. So these are the shortbread bases, and they just have to be room temperature. Otherwise, they'll destroy your mousse. Yumamania, yummania. That's what your friends will sing when they eat this. Now we're going to finish up this strawberry cream shortbread. This is the cream part. So you want 2 cups of cream. I think you should use a little bit less than 2 cups, but I'll make it the way they say for you guys. Just a little bit under 2 cups. How about them apples? Like that. Here we go. I'm just going to whip this cream real fast with the best mixer, which is this Breville. It's superb. Don't whip cream in front of your guests. You want this really pretty stiff. Oh, yeah. Now with the pausing, that was 28 seconds. That's pretty stiff, okay. Now, fold in the strawberry cream. So we forgot to stir this every 15 minutes. So it's a little bit overset, but this should work well. You're gonna fold it thoroughly, but not aggressively. So you're gonna go ahead and mix it in. Don't smash the cream. So fold, pick it up, fold, right? Pick it up, fold. Just put it all in. I got bored of folding it. That's how it goes. Horses' hooves and strawberries, mmm. Okay, I'm folding, but I'm not crushing. I want it to be a uniform color. I'm gonna do this real quick every now and again. Julia Child is spinning in her grave. Now, could you use pureed cherries? Absolutely, which I would love because I love cherries. I mean, you could use anything you wanted. All you need is some puree with some gelatin and some cream. So really, pick your fruit. Now, we're gonna fill our molds. The bottom part of this, I think I told you earlier, it didn't come off the one we made yesterday. So I had an idea. Maybe I would open this, release the shortbread, move the shortbread, put it back and close it. So we're gonna do an experiment, okay? Okay. Oh, it's so sweet. Look at the shortbread. Ah, there you go. Okay, perfectly cooked, FYI. Take some cream. Put it in the mold. You can make this with agar-agar to make it vegetarian. It's pretty hard to work with. I just have to be honest. Okay, I'm gonna start smoothing these. Basically, what you wanna do is just get this as perfect as you can. Clean the edge, but you can also clean it once it's fully set. So cute, look at that. Oh my God. The bottom line is, could you put an acetate ring here? Yes. Would you get a crisper edge? Probably. The other thing I learned is you kind of want to bang it once, but don't break the shortbread because it can have little wrinkles in the side. Cleaning the edge, bum, bum, ba-dum. Okay, these should set up for about 3 hours. However, I'm suspicious that you could probably make these the night before your party. Okay, these can go in the fridge. Here is the magic of television one, which looks pretty good. Now, word to the wise, if you can't get it off the metal, which is fine, just remember that the metal is super slippery, so you can put a dollop of whipped cream in the center and then put the metal thing down on top of it. If you don't do that, it's okay too. Now, it's stunning, just the way it is. But you can put a little modern-y, fancy garnish on the side. I wouldn't macerate them because the cake is quite sweet. So all I'm gonna do is pick 3 really nice looking strawberries, cut off the hull, discard that slice because it has a round edge, and I'm gonna cut strawberry shaped slices. So I'm going to just use the strawberry spray, which is going to be sort of random looking, never too studied, never too rigid, right? Because you want it to be like a free summertime yum. And you don't need it to go all the way around, just a little sort of notional straws. So this is boxwood basil, which is a certain species of basil that's absolutely divine. I'm just going to pick its tiny little leaves off with my finger, and mostly the very tops, which are almost like flowers, right? And you're going to die. So this is, instead of me mashing this on, I'm actually able to place it where it looks the most beautiful. God, that's lovely. Strawberry cake. What a delightful appetizer crab cakes are. Well, I guess I'll make crab cakes, but somebody else makes really the best crab cakes in the world. And her name is Regina Betancourt. She's our still photographer and an excellent friend.
Hello.
And Reggie has made these numerous times.
I have.
And I'll tell you that there's never one left. Never one left. So I don't know how to do it. So why don't you tell us how to do this?
Okay, so we're gonna make crab cakes.
Crab cakes.
And the reason we're gonna make crab cakes is because you can't get good crab cakes anywhere.
Because they mash it up too much and
Yep.
they put too much filler in it.
That's right. So first we're gonna make our liquor, like Randy likes to say. And then we're gonna put our crab meat in the liquor. And then we're gonna put our crackers, which is our binder. And then we're gonna refrigerate it. So here we go. Okay, mayo.
Thunder and lightning outside. Crab cakes all day.
Dijon mustard.
Excellent. A squirt.
A squirt.
Worcestershire sauce. It's actually a totally miraculous thing, that stuff. I think
What is this made of?
It's cloves and allspice and nutmeg and
tamarind?
vinegar and tamarind. It's actually an extraordinary thing, Worcestershire sauce.
A dash of hot sauce.
My fave. Can't go wrong with Tabasco, right, Reg?
Can't go wrong.
So when we have big dinner parties, I'll ask Reggie to do this because it sells, I'm telling you. A little squirt of lemon.
I learned how to make this because I really could not find
A decent crab cake.
a decent crab cake, and it's one of my favorite things to eat.
And then you used to make them on the fryer, like
Yep.
on the stovetop. But then for some reason one day you said I want to make it in the oven, and they came out actually better, I would say.
Because this liquid tends to not agree with oil. It does a lot of splattering and a lot of, you have to dodge. So I think baking them is better.
And we use jumbo lump crab, which is not back meat. It's from the claws.
Just gonna chop a little parsley.
This is washed and dried parsley. She's doing a chiffonade, curling it into a cigar and then cutting the cigar. You don't cook this right away. This goes into the fridge like overnight, right?
Yeah, I mean, at least 3 hours to set up. You know, it's gonna be kind of loose, and you're gonna think, wow, this is never gonna work. But then once the crackers absorb the liquid and the egg and everything, it'll bind together, and then you can form a cake. And you can serve them with coleslaw.
Reggie makes a slightly different kind of coleslaw than we made in our coleslaw episode. What's in your coleslaw?
My coleslaw is very traditional. It has two things I think that some coleslaws don't have, which is celery seed and sugar. Apple cider vinegar, mayonnaise, and that's it. Salt and pepper.
It's good.
Okay, so this looks good. So I'm just gonna taste it. Yum. Now we're gonna put our binder, which is our egg. Okay, so here we are. This is our lovely juice, our flavor. It's very simple, very few ingredients, because the star of the show is the crab.
Which is what most people don't get.
And what do we do when we buy crab? We So we're gonna put the crab in here.
Oh, the whole piece is really?
That's right.
You don't even chop it, Reggie?
No, the key to really good crab cakes is to not over mix. Looks like that.
Beautiful.
We're gonna use our crackers now. I like oyster crackers, but you can also use saltines. And I know she's already been in this 3 or 4 times. Also, I just want to say a lot of people like to use Ritz because they're very
intense.
buttery and yeah. And what I like to do is just crunch them in. This is our life. You do a little bit, you know, like maybe half a cup or something. It shouldn't be soupy, but it's okay if it's liquidy because it will, this is all gonna be absorbed in the cracker. The cracker is gonna expand and absorb it. I would just do a very light mix just to incorporate it. And the good thing about these crab cakes is that you can size them however you want. So you can make them really, really small, bite size. You can make them a little bit bigger, depending on how many people.
Or an amuse, which is actually a nice idea. Like a really teeny one.
So I'm gonna give it another very gentle, not to break up the crab too much. Now what we're gonna do, because this has to refrigerate so it can set, we're gonna put it in the deli.
And it kind of absorbs, the crackers absorb the juice a little bit.
At least 3 hours, but overnight would be fantastic.
Here, I'll put it for you.
Crab cakes.
But due to the magic of television, we have a container of crab cake mix that's already been sitting overnight.
Into the bowl.
Oh man, so you see how much it really firmed up. It absorbed a lot of that flavor what Reggie put in.
I'm just
She's
gonna
making a little shape.
bowl these up
They look beautiful, Reggie.
Thanks.
You see the big pieces of crab? That's the way to do it. And you don't put any breadcrumbs or anything on it?
Well, the breadcrumbs are the crackers.
But you don't put it on top?
No, no, no.
I've served them, but I've never seen Reggie make them.
I believe that this is what makes them like the restaurant.
And that's melted butter.
So that they brown a little bit. So we just
And
want
she's
to
painting.
paint them a little bit.
And that gives them a crispy edge, right, Reg?
Yep. Okay.
All right, awesome.
So they're gonna go into the oven now for about 25 minutes, about 425, but you're really looking for golden brown because pretty much everything except for the egg in here is cooked.
To the oven!
Okay, here we go. Okay,
Voila.
close it up.
Now we just wait. Maybe we'll have a drink.
Maybe.
Do you want a drink?
Sure, I'll have a drink.
Okay.
All right, these are done. They
Oh.
look amazing.
Ooh!
Nuclear hot.
Here, let me get you a...
That's perfect.
Okay.
So they've created a little crust on the bottom, so it should be pretty easy to lift.
The smell is out of this world.
Should we put the coleslaw on now? Yes,
You put it on top, right?
I'll put it on the side because now that I don't fry them, they're not flat.
Okay.
So
So you want to make a little dish?
a little dish, yeah,
Okay,
a little
absolutely.
side dish. Your coleslaw.
I love coleslaw. The last time Reggie made it, there was coleslaw left over, and I just ate it out of the container.
Is here.
Oh my goodness. Crab cakes. Want to cut up a lemon, maybe?
Sure. I think that
Stunning,
looks
Reg.
fantastic.
Beautiful.
Crab cakes.
Crab cakes à la Betancourt. Let's make sambal. Well, a sort of version of sambal. What is sambal? Peppery, spicy. There's about 4,000 kinds of this condiment, I guess is the word for it. So I think it would go very well with fish, but it's pretty spicy, so you have to be careful with it. So let's make sambal together. First thing I'm gonna do is I want the rounds, so I'm gonna cut the shallots like that, okay? We're gonna use the mortar and pestle to massage the shallots with some salt. Not too thin, Randall. I'm the only girl I've ever met in the world who has the name Randall. I've met other Randys, but I've never met another Randall. So if anybody knows a girl called Randall, R-A-N-D-A-L-L, let me know. Because if you have my name, you're lucky. I love shallots. I just think they're, I don't know, I think they're better than onions. I don't know why I think that, but I do. 2 shallots. So we're making a fresh sambal, which is A little different than the one that's next to the sriracha. That's the one that everybody knows. I'm gonna use kosher salt, not the regular salt. And the salt basically just helps it to kind of macerate the shallots until they're nice and soft. Softening with salt. See how it's releasing, it's getting soft? Which is good, you want that. Now I'm going to put this in that bowl and rinse some of the salt off. You can use your hands to do this if you don't have a mortar. Just gonna kind of soak them in water for a second to get the salt off. I'm gonna rinse that. This is a habanero. They want you to use another kind of pepper, but they didn't have it anywhere in the vicinity yesterday. So I'm using a habanero. I'm cutting this off. Now I'm remembering that I did this before I go to the bathroom because you do not want to touch your hoo-ha if you have been doing this. Get the seeds out as good as you can. We're going to use 2. High towel's not working. We have Adam today. Oh, I forgot to roll it, which releases the seeds. Whoops. Oh well. High towel could probably eat this with a spoon. Slicing, slicing. So the salt, I might put a teeny bit of sugar in this as well. The salt mellows the onion, and it also kind of mellows the pepper. This is gonna be really spicy. I love spicy food. Did I ever tell you about when my dad, with the thing with the, I was probably 6, and he goes, I bet you can't eat that pepper. And I said, I can eat it, Dad. And he goes, oh, I can eat it. I don't know if you can eat it. And I said, I can eat it. And he goes, well, let's eat one together. And it was a Scotch bonnet. And he held it in his hand, and I held one, and we put it in our mouths, and then he went like this, and he had it in his hand. And I ate it. Thanks, Dad. That's gonna be spicy. Lemongrass. I actually grow lemongrass. And the thing most people don't know is the part you use is very small. So I'm peeling back the very tough, coarse leaves, and it smells divine. So now I'm gonna slice down like this to remove the rest of the husk. Now it's showing white. Oh, there she is. Lemongrass. Cut this very small. So that's the sound you want. You shouldn't be cutting through a husk. It's like the core, sort of, you know? And it looks like that. It's transparent. 1 lemongrass stalk, cut finely. I'm gonna stir this around a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit of chopped parsley in mine. You're not supposed to, but I'm going to. I did a very coarse chiffonade. This could be cilantro, if you wanted, or basil. We want to have a little liquid. So I'm going to use some lime juice. I'm going to use quite a bit of this. Let's see how much that is. I'm going to put that in. It's the juice of 1 lime. Okay, and then I'm going to put some oil in, about 3 tablespoons of oil. I'm going to use olive oil, which I know I'm not supposed to use. Looks like sambal to me. Kind of looks like the picture. So I think I'm going to taste this, even though it's going to be brutal. Now it will mellow, and you should make this you can make this a day in advance, or longer. I'm scared. Wow, that's really good. It's spicy. But it's a condiment, right? I'm gonna tell you, Hightower would freaking love this. Now this will mellow, which is what people don't realize. The hotness will go down because of the salt and because of the lime. And this is a great accompaniment for rice, for fish, for people who like super spicy stuff. Sambal. Let's make salad with fig dressing. We always buy these box salads. They're triple washed, or what is it, lavage 3 fois, whatever it is. And that's great. Baby arugula is great, it's quick. Never let them see you dump it in the bowl, of course. But sometimes it's nice to have another kind of salad. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of arugula in here. And I have the paper there because the romaine is wet. So arugula is good with fish because it's like bright and spicy. Romaine, hello, so easy. Take the outer leaves off and then cut it like that, okay? And it mixes really beautifully with other salad. Mix it in, you're gonna sort of bring the arugula over. And so it's arugula and romaine. We're gonna make fig dressing. So we're just gonna make a vinaigrette that has fig jam in it. Sounds weird, but it's really good. Lemon juice. What's a vinaigrette? A vinaigrette is lemon juice, olive oil, vinegar, and Dijon mustard, salt and pepper, okay? We're gonna make that, and then we're gonna add some fig jam. And I wanna turn you guys on to this stuff called tahine. Oh, it's basically dehydrated lime and shredded chilies or something. It's incredible. So here's some lemon juice. I'm gonna just put a little bit of this in. Some olive oil. I'm gonna use rice vinegar. I'm gonna shake it. These jars are indispensable for, look at that, I just made dressing. For making dressing because you don't have to stir it, which is a pain in the butt. Dijon mustard. Mustard, wow, what an amazing thing. It's just such a delicious thing. It's already delicious. Taste it. Have the wooden tasting spoons or have a, clean a spoon. Don't put your spit in there. But taste it. That's how you make things. Does it taste good? What's it missing? It's too sour. It's too oily. Fix it. A little bit of pepper. And I'm gonna add the jam. Ooh, very, very figgy. I'm guessing. I don't know. It's fantastic. I'm gonna put a little bit of this for a little extra lime and kick. Fig vinaigrette. This can go in the fridge until you're ready and then reshake it. I always serve my salad without the dressing because what happens is you spend 2 hours picking the lettuce and cleaning it or you go to the store and you buy it and you wash it and spin it and then they don't eat it and it's dressed and you can't use it again. If you don't dress it, if you leave them a little spoon with the dressing, then they take their salad and they dress it themselves. Also, people constantly overdress, so I serve them separately so that people can make their own style. Fig dressing, crispy, bright salad to go with the fish and the sambal and everything. Fig dressing. No stressing. We're going to make a fennel base to lay the fish on. Basically, it's just grilled fennel. So I'm just gonna cut that off and cut the bottom off. And you'll see when it starts to look good. Like that piece is narpy, right? Now it's starting to look clean. Chop in the fennel for the fennel base. Just make sure you don't serve that hard circle because people they can't chew it. So when you put it in here, you want to kind of push it apart to make sure that it's all push-apartable. And it's nice, fennel, tarragon, things like that go good with fish. This is just essentially a garnish. You can use that for stock or whatever you'd like. I'm just washing a little piece of the fennel frond. And fennel pollen is very in right now. It tastes great though. It's for a little color. Now I have a tin foil under here because I'm going to carry it out to the grill, but I want to dress it inside. Okay, so just liberally olive oil this like you're dressing a salad kind of. And some salts, which will mostly fall off, but then you're going to flip the tin foil and hit hit the thing with it so that it goes back on when you're cooking it. Okay, beautiful base. That's ready for the grill. We're not gonna fry fish in deep oil, but we're gonna make it sort of cornmeal crusted. It will have the appearance of being fried, but not the greasiness of being fried. This is black cod, also known as sable fish. Beautiful. I am gonna trim it. We don't really want uneven pieces. This is just thinner than the rest of it. All right, you can use that for something else. I'm looking for bones. I feel some pin bones here. Just feel with your hands. That's interesting. This might be a membrane, actually. Yeah, I don't think it's a bone. I'm now gonna skin this, because for this particular dish, we don't need the skin. Now, in a French restaurant, I'd be fired, but that's not bad. Now I'm gonna portion this. Let's make 2 pieces. Okay, piece 1, piece 2. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna salt and pepper this and prepare it. We're gonna dip it in milk, and then we're gonna dip it in breadcrumbs. That's it. Just a little bit of olive oil to make the salt stick. La 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 la. Turn it over, la 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 la. Do both sides. Da da dun da da da. Ba da dun dee da da. Miss Samantha Henry from Wright's Liquid Smoke wrote us and sent us liquid smoke, which I have to tell you is superb. We got mesquite and hickory. I'm gonna use the hickory in the milk. Seems weird, trust me. Pour a little milk in here, and I'm just gonna put a few teeny weeny drops of hickory smoke. The ingredients are water and smoke. Ooh. Be careful because it can get bitter. This is polenta. What is polenta? People think polenta is some kind of special cornmeal. It's not. It's super fine cornmeal. That's it. She's dipping. She's dipping and dipping. Dipping, dipping and dipping, 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 dipping. And you can add like this. This is a very simple way of making delicious crispy fish. And then we're just gonna take this out to a really hot grill that I have already put Conrad on so that he gets really hot. So here we go, to the grill. We're now outside with a very hot grill, okay? What we're looking for is for the oil to sheet in the pan. See how it's not making legs, it's sheeting across the pan? That means it's really hot. Use grapeseed oil, not olive oil, because it can't get hot enough, it burns. And I'm just gonna lay the fish down, presentation side down, which is flesh side down, okay? And we're gonna fry it for approximately 3 minutes per side. Here we go. And then I'm gonna move it over to the hot part of the grill. It's making a nice noise. Now, do not touch this until it lifts up easily. Let it simmer and sizzle and really go nuts. So when I flip it, I'm gonna put the fennel on. I'm also looking at the loose pieces to see how brown they are. It's gonna be less than 3 minutes on the other side. Gently flip it. Oh yeah. And now you're gonna put the fennel on. Watch your tin foil, okay? Because you're gonna do this. All the liquor and liquid from the fennel is now on that. Now what I usually do, this is already too hot. I usually use that as a handle, but I won't do that today. You wanna kind of move this around. Cooks quickly. We're almost ready to serve. This you can do in front of people. It's very elegant, you know. So you want markings on here if possible, you know. I'm just going to put the fennel here in a nice little bed, and then I'm just going to put the fish on top. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of lime. Just a little bit. It's very floral and delicious. And then this will be, we'll cut it in half and it'll be part of the presentation. Cornmeal grilled fish. Pretty good dish. There's this very special time in Italy called SPRITZ O'CLOCK. Now the Aperol Spritz got a bad rap in the last few years because it became super popular in the US. The bottom line is it's a really good drink for about 3:30 or 4 o'clock, certainly 5 o'clock. We're gonna show you the classic one and then one that's a little less sweet, a little more bitter. You need basically an orange, Aperol if you want the sweet, slightly ordinary one, and some bitters, or special or special, which is a bitters drink that they have in Venice specifically that they use to make SPRITZ O'CLOCK. So let's make one. I've chilled my large wine glass. I'm gonna pour in some Aperol, which is like sweet Campari. Fill this like this with Prosecco. Beautiful. Maybe a little more Aperol. Okay, and I'm gonna top it with some sparkling water, just to pick me up, you know, around 3:30. And I'm gonna garnish it with a slice of a carefully washed orange. Now, this orange I actually washed with a little bit of very weak soap and then rinsed it thoroughly because it came from the deli. Cutting out the pithy center and dropping it in. SPRITZ O'CLOCK. Pretty good. Now, a little more, I hate to say sophisticated, but a little more, less Shirley Temple-like. Not a big spritz person. I mean, I'll drink it if it's in front of me, but it's a little bit sweet for me. We're going to use Fortave, which is a bitter drink like an Italian Amaro. My suspicion is it's pretty close to Special, which is the Amaro that they use in Venice for a famous spritz. We're going to use a little bit of orange bitters and possibly a tiny drop of brandy. Instead of brandy, I'm going to use Grand Marnier, which is an orange liqueur, which I think is a nice idea. In the bottom, I'm going to put the Fortave. Grand Marnier. Orange bitters. Teeny bit of Aperol for color, but you could use Campari. We're not using Campari because mine spilled all over the pantry. So this should be Campari. Okay. And Prosecco. It's a more grown-up color. And it has a slightly more grown-up flavor. Savory SPRITZ O'CLOCK. Oh, now that's up my alley. That's an aperitif. Preparing your appetite. Ooh, it's bitter, alcoholic-y tasting. It's definitely an aperitif. Yum. So then you go back to your hotel room and rest a little bit before you go out to dinner. It's fabulous. So, traditional spritz, these are big drinks. Savory spritz, both delicious. What time is it?
SPRITZ O'CLOCK.
So today on Dinner Party Tonight, we made Regina Betancourt's crab cakes. Huzzah! For our main, we had pan-fried cornmeal crusted fish fillet It was sable black cod on a bed of grilled fennel. My God. Then we had a Balinese raw sambal matah. Spicy, but oh boy, is it good. Then we had an arugula and romaine salad with fig dressing. Come on. And we finished up with strawberry cream shortbread cake. Now that's a winner. For cocktails, it's SPRITZ O'CLOCK. Savory and sweet, like me. Something's telling me it might be you. It's telling me it might be you for all of my life. Leonard and I want to say thank you for watching Dinner Party Tonight and our cornmeal crusted fish episode with a special appearance by Regina's Crab Cakes. Please subscribe, make a suggestion, a comment. Christmas might be suggestion driven. We are absolutely thrilled every time you guys write us. You don't know what it means to everybody on the crew, everyone. Right, guys? Yes. Okay, so hit subscribe, like us, comment, suggest, and just remember, you are a dinner partier. Goodbye! When I was a little girl, they used to call me the rabbit because I always loved vegetables. I also ate dirt, dog food, horse food, raw bacon, raw cookie dough, raw eggs. I ate bugs. I ate sand with Victoria Wagaman. And guess what? I have a superb immune system.